Well, let's talk a bit more then about the situation for civilians in Gaza. I'm very pleased to be joined now by Ahmed Bayram. He's a media advisor for the NGO, the Norwegian Refugee Council. He's based in the Jordanian capital, Amman. He joins us from there. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Can I get your reaction, first of all, to this news we have today from the World Health Organization that there are now no hospitals functioning in the north of Gaza?
Yeah, horrific. I have to say this has been long coming. 75 days of ceaseless attacks. You have reported on attacks as far as the Rafah crossing, which is supposed to be safe. Imagine the unsafe areas. Medical teams are working around the clock, of course, to save any lives they can. Those they can't attend to will have to somehow survive. We haven't even talked about kids and children who are now catching disease. They don't know what that disease is. Winter is at their doorstep. There's skin infections, skin diseases, waterborne diseases, children drinking contaminated water, polluted water, unsafe water, children living with missing limbs. It's a catastrophe, not just health-wise, but also what is going to come the day after. And we can't wait for that day after. But that day after all this stops, we are going to look at a tragedy of proportions that we haven't seen in a long, long time.
I know the NRC, your organisation, has some staff in Gaza. I wonder to what extent you're able to speak with them and if you know how they're coping right now.
We do speak from time to time when communication allows. It's been 7 days, I think, now since communications have been cut, constantly cut. I managed to get a word in from my colleagues. All we want to hear is if they are still alive. The rest we almost know. We know that they have seen more bombings, they have seen more displacement. My colleagues have been displaced, aid workers have been displaced, aid workers have been killed in these attacks. We know that they are not feeding their children like they want to. We know that there's not enough aid for people. This is the story of the 75 days that have passed. And, the world has not come together until now to push all sides to agree to a ceasefire. And that, I think, is a stain on our collective humanity. And that has to stop. The death, the destruction has to stop.
Well, speaking of diplomatic efforts, the UN Security Council is meeting again today to discuss a possible truce and the bringing in of aid to Gaza. I wonder what the NRC's message is then to international leaders and those diplomats who are talking today.
Our message is don't go to sleep one more night before you stop this. 20,000 people have been killed. Thousands more have been injured. Release the hostages, work towards that, lift the siege on Gaza, let food in, not a few bottles of water, let water in, reconnect the water, reconnect the electricity, work towards that. Is there a parent in the world who can imagine their children having to go 75 days like this? I don't think so. And I think now, tonight, the vote is again going to test the humanity of these big states and big powers. And we have been clear in our message that nothing short of a lasting, sustainable ceasefire that guarantees the return of the hostages, that guarantees the lifting of the siege, and that guarantees allowing aid teams in. Nothing short of that is gonna cut it. Nothing short of that is gonna be good enough. Agree to a ceasefire tonight, and step up to the plate and hold that responsibility, collective responsibility, and save lives in Gaza.
Ahmed Bayram from the NGO, the Norwegian Refugee Council. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.